Hello there everybody, welcome back to my channel, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about why Badlion is better than Lunar client. So yeah, you're probably going to be typing in the comments, oh, you're supporting pedophiles now? Shut up. I've never been about supporting pedophiles, because personally how I see it, the client's different from the pedos, but they don't even work for the company anymore. So I mean, what is the deal? So yeah, basically I'm going to talk over my points of why I think Badlion is just a little bit more better than Lunar. So let's get into it. Firstly, and I think this is preference, but this may just be me, the overall just kind of UIs of Badlion and the overall look, it just looks more polished to me. Now, a lot of people are going to say, you just copy Lunar. Lunar looks better anyways. But to me, I just think maybe it's because I've been with the client so long and I've seen it go through that rough stage. I think, personally, Badlion does look better. It also has better looking mods, more customizable mods, that is, too. But we'll get into that point next. But basically, I just think the UI of Badlion and the mods menu too, bro, where it's on the sidebar instead of the menu, it definitely helps me, especially with the menus to edit, because on Lunar client, I find that like the UI to edit things is so monotonous, and it really doesn't make a lot of sense. But with Badlion, you can adjust everything. It just makes more sense to the natural eye. But to some people, that'll be subjective. They'll say Lunar looks better, it's easier to edit, you're just stuck in your ways, my guy, and everything. It's just, people are gonna say whatever. The next reason to why I think Badlion is slightly better is because of the mod choice. Now, I'm going to be pointing out one particular mod, which is replay mod. Now, I'm going to gravitate to start using that mod soon for other more intense videos that I may have to make. But for the longest time, Lunar client did not have replay mod. They added it in like February 2021, had it for like a month, and then they got rid of it for some reason. Then only recently did they add it back. And one of the other, like, crippling things of Lunar client that sucks for me, and I talked about it a little bit here, but I'll talk about it more now, is the way you have to edit mods. I so badly hate this on Lunar client because a lot of it doesn't make sense. It's basically, I like it a lot better on Badlion because it points out directly what you need to edit. It also allows for a little more customizability, in my opinion. You can change the colors of certain UIs in where you can't on Lunar. And while Lunar may have the presets, I find the presets honestly aren't that great, especially with the skyblock, man. I mean, Lunar client may have improved a little bit in the time I've not used it, but dude, last time I played skyblock on Lunar client, it was just terrible. Badlion has a far superior experience than skyblock, and that's because the devs actually care about the skyblock mod, and I feel like Badlion's more turning into a skyblock client now, but it's still useful for PvP, such things. But I just find that the mods are a little bit clunky. They don't make some sense. Obviously, free look is disabled everywhere now, so I mean, I can't really crap on free look, but the mods are just so clunky. They don't have good editable styles. It just, honestly, it's a disappointing thing on Lunar client. Next one, and this might be a placebo in my mind, or it might actually be a little bit of a real truth, is I feel much slower on Lunar client. And I don't know if this is just a regular Badlion user thing, or if regular Lunar players even, or people like switching, or people using Lunar for the first time. Bro, I feel so slow, my hits feel like chunky, and it just like, I don't know, man, like when I play PvP games on Sumo and Battle Rush, which is on Lyman Club, I just feel like when I try and combo people, it's so much harder to hook a combo on Lunar, and when I bridge, I feel like I'm gonna fall more on Lunar, which that is the case. I end up falling way more on Lunar client than I do on Badlion, because I feel like it's just so unstable. Also, I God bridge, so I need to have a stability anyways, but when I God bridge on Badlion, it's so stable, it's smooth. When I tele bridge, it's so smooth, but then when I go over to Lunar client, I feel so unstable and I end up falling, and then tele bridging is almost impossible anyways in the best of circumstances for me. And on Badlion, on a good day, I'll be able to get some teles, but it's near impossible for me to tele bridge. But that's more of a me thing. It's not going to affect the end user. But even speed bridging, it just feels so clunky. It feels like it's just a slightly modified version of regular Minecraft. And also sometimes it feels like 1.9 bridging, which, let me tell you right now, I'm not the biggest fan of 1.9 bridging or 1.10, whatever it is, because of the shakiness of the camera. I prefer my camera to stay pretty still while bridging, and the constant up and down, it feels like the same on Lunar, even in 1.8.9, which is, once again, kind of disappointing. Also relating back to the mods, I feel like Lunar is got some pretty bad mods. I feel like the ones that they're implementing now, Hurt Cam obviously was a very good mod, but I feel like that throws me off. That's just a personal preference thing. But like, the mods on Lunar are just so uncustomizable, and I know this is getting back to the mod point, but I feel like it's just so bland on Lunar, and there really isn't that much customizability, whereas on Badlion, there are plenty of mods. They've had plenty of time synced into them, and I know the Badlion is an older client compared to Lunar, but I just feel like for so many people praising Lunar for its amazing mods, I find it to be one of the weakest points of the client, in my opinion. It just is where they just don't feel like customizable. They don't feel like they've had a ton of time synced in them. Obviously, you may feel different, but I've just used Badlion client long enough to know the difference between the two, and I can feel where it's been differentiated. I mean, I did recently switch my GUI, and I don't have my keystrokes anymore, but even then, I still find that when I made my aesthetic on Lunar like I did on Badlion, I still prefer the one on Badlion, so, man, it ain't looking too good. Firstly, if you made it this far in the video, you're a legend. But the next thing I want to talk about is the performance. For the longest time, I thought Lunar was the lower end client, but turns out recently with Badlion Lite, Lunar's taken a backseat. Also, apparently the minimum specs for Lunar went up like crazy, and now if you don't have like a sub-decent PC, Lunar's just not going to work. Like, apparently the launcher's really slow. I mean, I've used both on my low-end laptop, and I can definitely feel a more substantial frame gain on Badlion, even the non-light version. This is like full-on Badlion with all the mods that I would normally have on my PC, and I just feel like, you know, getting into it, that thing has an i3, it just feels so much smoother on Badlion. So like, the barrier to entry on Lunar is you already need a pretty good PC, like, you know, not terribly good, but you know, it kills off the low-end users, and that is a little bit, that's a good chunk of the Minecraft community right there. You know, you have little kids that can't afford a nice PC, you know, me, I have i7 12700K, RTX 3080, so I'm fine, but you know, you got these kids out here cranking with 7th gen, 6th gen Intel. Lunar's just not going to stably run on something like that. So these are my thoughts as to why Lunar Client just isn't as polished nor as good as Badlion. Badlion is just far superior. Now, it wasn't always that way, but as the years go by, I am very proud of my decision to stand by Badlion through the thick, through the thin, through the good and through the bad. But if you're looking for a new client, Badlion is where I would reside. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.